p.m. live webcast from sunny Sarasota, Florida. Team USA Pentathlon here commentating, Harry Green and Monica Rowland. Monica, how are you doing today?
We are having a great time out here, Harry. Third day of competition, beautiful sunny skies. Have a nice sized crowd that's come out to see the team competition. These athletes have got to be a little bit tired after exerting maximum effort for the past day, both in the men's and women's final, but I'm sure they're going to give it their all here in the riding and combined events this afternoon.
And the heat has been grueling. Yesterday we saw the men's final. I talked to Brendan Anderson and Nathan Scrimshire, and the heat's really getting to them, the horses, and everyone, but we're still having a good time. So today we have 12 teams from 12 different countries. This is day 3. This is the mixed relay. Currently in first, after the fence and the swim, is Belarus. Tatiana Yelizarova and Stanislav Zhurlu are the women and the men respectively. Russia, Ekaterina Kuraskina and Alexander Lessin. Third is China, Quan Chen and Zhanli Guo. Back in 7th, we have Margot Isaksen and Nathan Scrimshire of the United States, who are great riders and excellent combined performers, so we're expecting to see great things from them today.
And they just competed in the ladder event, which unfortunately wasn't able to be broadcast live, but it was quite exciting here. The crowd absolutely loved it and got behind all of the athletes, watching them in the new event that's come to Pentathlon of the ladder. Also some prize money involved, so that made things pretty exciting. The U.S. has moved up into 7th place after an 8th place finish. They both had pretty strong swims, and are only separated by 2 seconds between 4th and 9th place. So depending on the ride, it could turn into a battle this afternoon and in the combined.
So the mixed relay with the ride, we have a different course from yesterday. It's 8 fences, and both athletes will jump the same course. So they will canter into the ring, salute the judges, go to the start box, and first, the woman will go ahead and finish the 8 fences. Once she's back in the start box and hasn't been eliminated, her counterpart will go ahead and finish the course.
Yeah, the athletes look like they're really enjoying themselves, competing as a team in the combined here, 1 men and 1 female, and they're having a good time out here today. The breeze has luckily picked up as usual, but it is hot. Staying hydrated has been a challenge these 3 days.
Definitely. The humans have to stay hydrated as well as the horses. Yesterday I talked about a little trick that I would do for my horse at warm horse shows. Would actually be to give them Gatorade mixed with water so they get some sugar and some electrolytes, and then even if they're tired, they'll usually perk right up. We actually just had an umbrella fall here on the truck, but that's all good.
You can see the warm-up arena here. Horses, obviously accomplished rider, seeing if his horse can go backwards, which takes a skill of its own, but people getting a couple of jumps in, seeing how the horses are responding to their commands today.
In a few minutes, first in the ring, we'll see Leandro Silva and Aijelen Zapata from Argentina. Aijelen is a part of a family of pentathletes. Her father competed in the military pentathlon way back when, and her older brother, Emma Zapata, and her older sister, Pamela, also both compete for Argentina in the pentathlon. She has 1 younger brother, Nahuel, who also competes, and they're a great pentathlon family. Leandro is from Cordoba, Argentina. He's turning out to be a great athlete. Really natural on the horse before. I don't know how much riding experience he had before pentathlon, but yesterday he definitely did very well in the ride.
Looking good. It must be beneficial to have an entire family committed to the sport, so everybody's on the same page, working together and learning from each other, their mistakes and triumphs.
Definitely. They have a great training facility down there in Buenos Aires. I actually had the opportunity to live and train with them for 6 months in college, and their CENAR, essentially the Olympic Training Center in Argentina, has a great pool, a running track, good shooting range, and so Argentina definitely has a strong program.
It would be great if at one point they got a World Cup, maybe.
Exactly. They
I know everybody would love to go down to Buenos Aires.
Oh, I would love to go back. They hosted, the first time I went to Argentina was during my junior year of college in 2011. Or excuse me, 2011. And for Junior World Championships, and that was definitely a great event. It was at Colegio Militar de la Nación, which, if you are familiar with Argentina at all, Juan Perón actually attended there. It's a very prestigious Argentine military academy. It's kind of their West Point, if you will.
Excellent. And we have the drone helicopter buzzing around our head, which I don't know if you'll get any footage from this in the live stream, but it's been an incredible addition to the video of the sport. It's capturing some amazing footage of the field and the competitors while they are on course.
Most definitely. If you check out the concise edition on the YouTube channel from the men's and the women's events, you'll see that when the drone flies over, you can see the whole venue, which is really, really nice. It's good to see everything. We're on the polo grounds here. You can see for probably about a half mile, 800 meters out. And it's wide open, blue skies. We're on the Florida Pampas, if you will.
It's beautiful down here, and all of the venues have been excellent. The horses have also been quite spectacular. We've had a couple of stumbles in the ride, both yesterday and the day before, but the horses have also done an amazing job. Giving you a little bit of update on our results so far. In first place, we have Belarus. Second is Russia, just by 2 seconds. China's in third, followed by Korea, Ukraine, Lithuania. There's the United States, holding it seventh, followed by Czech Republic, Italy, Mexico, Kazakhstan, and Argentina. We're hoping that you're able to access these results online at the UIPM website.
And it is definitely a close field. I would definitely not put money on who I think is going to have a podium finish. However, Ukraine with Victoria Tereshchuk and Pavlo Timochenko in fifth could definitely run everyone else down. Right now, they have a 36-second handicap below number one in Belarus, and both Tereshchuk and Timochenko are very strong combined athletes. So if they can get through this ride without having too many time penalties and without being eliminated, then I think their event looks promising.
Yeah, I would never count out Lithuania either, with Laura Asadiskaite and Justinas Kanderas. They're always a force to be reckoned with. Of course, Russia holding a really close second place with the gold medalist from yesterday, Alexander Lessin. It's going to turn into quite a heated competition. Not just hot weather-wise.
Heated in every way you can think of. Yeah, Lithuania, Laura Asadiskaite, the gold medalist from London, Lessin, the gold medalist from yesterday in the men's competition. We are going to see a horse race today. By horse race, I don't mean the ride, I mean the run. We're going to see these athletes hammer.
Maybe other people tuned into the horse race yesterday that captured the Americans' attention at Belmont. Unfortunately, no Triple Crown for yet another year. It was a great race, but a lot of people were upset at the finish.
As we used to say with the Boston Red Sox, there's always next year.
So let's talk a little bit about the course while we're waiting for the athletes to warm up. I know you mentioned it is a shortened course, down to 8 jumps with no triple combination or double.
Yes, and I actually had the opportunity to work and design the course yesterday with Richard Lamb, the U.S. Pentathlon riding coach. And he said he didn't want the male athletes or the female athletes to fly around the course and be able to just push it and do well. He wanted them to use their knowledge of the finesse of riding to hit the fences exactly how they need to jump them. And so what he meant by that is that they're going to have to collect their horses before they get to the next jump. If you draw a straight line from, say, fence 4 to 5, you'll put and you ride them forward, you'll put too few strides in and then maybe chip and hit a rail. So what I mean by that is if you go too fast, you're going to knock rails down.
So once again, Richard seems like he has created a challenging enough course to really test the rider's ability. Maybe some places that if you're riding a little too forward, you might pull a rail, obviously. And he has done an amazing job on both days, the individual and the mixed relay, designing this beautiful course. The jumps are absolutely stunning and look like some of the highest quality jumps I've seen in pentathlon over the years. Is there anything that you can point out that might give some riders a little bit of trouble going into it? We can see fairly straightish bending lines going around the course. Of course, the rider has to come back into the holding arena box before the next athlete can take off. So the female rider has to come through the box before the next one can go out. Is there a penalty for leaving early?
For leaving early, I believe there is. I don't know if it's elimination or not, or just time penalties. But there definitely are some options with this course. For the first fence to the second fence is a simple kind of bending line. You can either think about it separately or put probably 5 or 6 strides in there. Then you're going to roll back to fence 3, the CWD jump. It's a big red jump that you'll see. That's one of our saddle sponsors. And we've actually put some flowers out there on the course to guide the riders around, so they can either go inside or outside those flowers. That's going to let them figure out whether they want to spend time or have a more direct approach to the jump.
Mm-hmm. So it gives the rider an option. If they need to use a little more real estate to collect their horse in between each jump, they'll have that option. If they want to take a shorter, more direct approach, they can do that as well. And we noticed online some people commenting on the riders riding in their shirts with no jackets, and then we want to let you know it is very warm out here, and they have relaxed the rules requiring a jacket for that purpose, hoping to make everybody a little more comfortable.
Definitely. And the less energy you use to spend cooling your body down before the combined, the more you're going to have to chase those people in front of you down or hold the people that are trying to pick you off behind you.
And because this is pentathlon and not dressage, we can get away with relaxing the dress code requirements due to the weather conditions.
Most definitely. Well, sometimes we want to look good. We can definitely look good and be comfortable when we're riding.
We are 1 minute away on the countdown before the first team arrives in the arena. The second group or third and fourth group of riders are actually warming up in a second warm-up arena, doing their trotting and cantering, understanding how the horse changes leads, goes forwards, backwards,
Most definitely.
sideways.
And Monica, what do you look for?
Yes.
Monica's actually talking to the communications people. So in pentathlon riding, you have 20 minutes and 5 jumps to get to know your horse. And in that 20 minutes, you're not going to teach your horse anything, so you have to find out what it knows, what it responds to. Your right rein, your left rein, your right leg, your left leg. Does it switch its lead? Does it pick up the canter on the right lead? If you take a sharp turn, is it going to float out? How much leg do you have to use to support it? So you're definitely going to have to be a skilled and experienced rider to reduce your level of uncertainty. And here in the ring, we have Leandro Silva and Aijelen Zapata coming on in. Salute the judges.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors today, today's live stream.
It's brought to you by Ringling College of Art and Design and Bokur as well. I'm
Excellent.
sorry. Semcor.
Semcor.
I read that wrong.
Thank you so much. We couldn't have brought our viewers any of this without them.
That's 7 strides to fence 2. She's going to take the outside turn, use her real estate. Now, independent of how fast you're going, if you canter 100 miles before approaching the jump, then you're going to eat up your time. So it looks like Aijelen is taking the control option and using her outside turns.
Ooh.
Looks like she's got 1 rail there. 2 rails, 14 seconds behind.
Definitely trying to get a little more out of her horse. You see her use her crop once to signal to the horse it's time to take off. Let's get around this.
7. Now,
and a knockdown
so she has
at
3
8.
rails. Now Leandro is going to stop when she crosses the finish line.
And the time is cumulative on course. So the second rider needs to be aware of where their teammate is and time it. The best timing would be to be departing the start line as soon as your teammate crosses the finish line into the box. Every second counts, as we know in the sport.
Good direct approach. Uses his voice to make the horse go forward. Looks to 3. Long spot, but the horse definitely clears it. Leandro's doing great. Great approach to that triple bar.
Looking beautiful, getting a great response from the crowd, cheering him on.
And the Argentines are definitely going to be happy with this ride.
Absolutely. Clear ride.
Leandro does an excellent job controlling the horse.
From the male competitor.
So this is a relay, except we don't hand off batons or crops. That might be a little difficult. So it's more like swimming, where when one person touches the wall or crosses the finish line, the next person dives in the water or asks their horse to go forward and starts the race.
It's a lot of fun to watch. We hope you all are enjoying it. Next team into the arena is Russia, Ekaterina Koroskina. Oh, I'm sorry, I got that completely wrong. It is Kazakhstan. Pardon me. Arina Zhenbelanova and her teammate Pavel Ilyashenko.
We've seen great results from Kazakhstan in the past at the Asian Championships and at World Cups. So we're looking to see good things today from them.
They are saluting to the judges, which means they are given the whistle that they are free to start the course. And Arina is off, making it nicely to jump 1.
She bends nicely over the jump, lets the horse come up into her. Takes the wide approach to jump 3. Good distance.
Looks
It's
nice and
important
comfortable.
to have these horses take off at the right moment, because if you take off too close, they're less likely to jump the jump, but if you take off too far away, they're more likely to hit a rail. So you want to really look at your trajectory and how that affects the cleanliness of the jump.
She's
going
doing
quick
great.
around. Whew.
Has a clean round. She's
that
got
is
to be happy with that.
Excellent riding. Pavel Ilyashenko is on Tsar, who is Alex Guzman's horse. Alex Guzman is an affiliate of USA Pentathlon. He's one of our youth athletes. This horse is green, which means it's young. He takes the inside turn. And Tsar, even if he gets long spots, which means he takes off far away from the jump, he will definitely still jump it. He's very generous. The only rail we had was when he had a short spot.
Wow,
So-
and got a little left behind. Tsar doing a great job to pick his feet up and clear that jump with no knockdowns. You don't always get the best spot, even though you're looking
One rail.
for it. And you certainly can't get hung up on not finding the perfect takeoff point. If you let that jar your focus, it can be disastrous for the course. So you've just got to go with it and hope to catch up to that horse as soon as you can.
Most definitely. If you jump the jump, we like to say that each fence is behind you.
Excellent. So they had one knockdown. Excellent ride from both of them, but that is 7 seconds that they will end 5 time penalties.
So they were very fast and very careful where their approach is, but even if your horse is moving quickly, if you take the outside lines to everything, if you use your real estate, it's going to take longer to run 30 meters than it is to run 15 meters.
Looks like that's probably not the best option if you're looking to complete the course without time penalties. The better option would be to take the shorter approach,
and hopefully
going
we'll
from
see
2 to 3.
Hopefully we'll see Margot Isaacson and Nathan Scrimsher take some inside turns today and give the crowd something to definitely cheer for. They just want to still go clear even if they're quick around the course.
And there's obviously an advantage, Harry, to going a little bit later in the day as you get to see the riders and understand the pace that they're carrying and how many time penalties they incur by either taking the longer or the shorter track to the jump. In the rink, now we have our athletes from Mexico, Tamara Vega and Ishmael Hernandez.
So yesterday, the male part of the Mexican team was a little shaky in the ride. We'll see how they can do today.
Tamara looks off to a nice start.
Looks like she is also going to take the inside turn to jump 3. Good distance.
Long way around.
So this horse's name is Monte Carlo. He's a 16-2 thoroughbred. Now the Mexicans might be used to riding thoroughbreds, whereas the Europeans might not. So European horses generally have a less sensitive mouth than a thoroughbred. So if you ride an American thoroughbred like you ride a Hanoverian warm blood, you are going to be in for a surprise.
You're always in for a surprise in pentathlon.
This is true. Your horse could do something completely different in the regular ring than it does in the warm-up ring.
And the preference, I think, in some of these riders to either take the longer approach or the shorter one might come down to their comfort level and practice. I know when we were training, we did a lot of practice doing both, using both real estate so that you're never shocked or surprised by a jump that comes up too soon.
Most definitely.
And the Mexican team looking great here. They had a great handoff. And
very nice.
Great rides for both of them.
Looks like they went clear. We'll see if they had any time penalties.
So no time penalties and no obstacles. Our first clean round. Give each other a high five. They look pretty excited about that performance.
Up next from Italy, we have Alicia Sotero and Riccardo De Luca.
Excellent pronunciation, Harry. Good job.
I pronounce everything with a Spanish accent. It's great.
Using that time in Argentina to your advantage.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a hold up with our next riders coming in.
Yeah, it's definitely handy to speak at least one Romance language in pentathlon. If I speak really slowly to the Brazilians and Italians in Spanish, we can communicate and get by. So,
and surprisingly, a decent number of other athletes also speak Spanish.
Yeah,
it's a multilingual sport, and if you're around it long enough, you're bound to pick up quite a few words in other languages.
I just have to learn Russian to speak to the second half of pentathlon.
So here they are into the starting box. Looks like she drew the larger of the horses.
Now Alicia had a tough time in her ride in the women's event, so we'll see if she can improve her performance today.
Obviously looking to put that behind her and finish up her time in Sarasota with a great ride to go home to. Got a little left behind on there, and is recovering nicely.
And when that horse jumps, she definitely wants to get a good distance and then absorb his momentum when he comes up. That was a better fence.
Took the shorter approach.
And even though the shorter approach is shorter, it's really not too short.
No, there's plenty of time and real estate in there to collect your horse and prepare him for the next jump.
She hits that rail but doesn't knock it down, which is always good to see.
Excellent. She's got to be happy with that performance. And here's her teammate.
Riccardo De Luca enjoys snowboarding in his free time in the Italian Alps. Long walks in the English countryside as well, spent some time there. Inside turn.
Looking good.
4 strides to fence 5, which is quicker than what we've seen.
And pulls the rail on the last jump, but other than that, a great ride from both of them.
Just as Richard Lamb was saying, if you fly through those last 2 fences, you might knock the last one down. So you don't want to just gallop home. You want to definitely be in control when you're finishing. And hopefully these next riders are watching that and they'll plan accordingly.
Great example of how he tests the rider coming into the last jump. So coming up next, we have the Czech Republic, Barboa Godidova and Jan Kuf. They are currently in 8th place. Pretty close to 7th, 6th, and 5th. So any mistake here will either move them up or down.
And with a very close time difference, a stagger for the combined, anything could happen today. We've had some clear rounds now, so it should come down to the combined.
Absolutely. The horses are looking like they're getting more comfortable with this arena out here and the wide spaces in the distance. We've got a flock of birds out there today, which I think were absent yesterday. They don't seem to be providing any distraction for the horses, though.
And again, all these horses have seen this area. This is a new course, but a jump is a jump, so they should find their way around pretty well. Barbara takes the inside turn to jump 3. Looks like she's going to go well inside to 4. Gets a little short, but that's fine.
Clears it well.
She looks, makes the horse look. Great distance to that fence.
Yeah, her rhythm is very smooth.
Let's see if she can keep this fence up.
She's obviously conscious of the time as she's taking the shorter track, has a clean ride, gets a nice round of applause from the crowd.
And she was definitely forward to fence 8, and she knocked it, but she didn't knock it over. Jan Kuf on the horse named Wile Coyote. So Wiley might be a little quick. We'll see if he can keep him under control. Definitely a quick pony here. Shaking his head a little bit. Just one rail. Up over the fence. This horse definitely has a lot of power. And with horses with a lot of power, you really want to focus on controlling them, settling them down, and then using their explosiveness at the right moment.
Got to make sure to ride to the jump, and he makes it. Does a little correction there at the end. Jumps nicely over fence 8 at an angle.
Little indirect, but it ain't no thing. So.
In pentathlon, we will take a clean fence no matter how it comes.
Exactly.
There are no style points in pentathlon, luckily for our sport, because it's not always pretty. But the most important thing is to get the job done.
Up.
Coming.
Go for it.
Coming up next is the American team, Margot Isaacson and Nathan Scrimshire.
Both of whom train at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Margot's from Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Nathan is from Roswell, New Mexico. They both grew up riding horses. Nathan came to pentathlons through his coach, Jan Oleshinsky. Janusz Peczek's one of his good friends and teammates. They both competed for Poland back in the day. Nathan learned how to swim very well at New Mexico Military Institute and run and shoot. He told me a story once. The first time he got in the pool, he needed floaties on his arms, but now he swims 2 minutes flat. So
he's come a long way and improved greatly, and we're expecting great things from Nathan. Really sweet guy. He also has a younger brother,
Lucas Scrimshire,
who's competing and trying to keep up with his brother.
Studies business administration at Texas Tech in Lubbock. For
those Texans out there.
Wrong town. Wrong city.
Close, though. Close.
Sorry.
And they are getting ready to enter the arena, looking to improve their standings in front of the home crowd here.
Margot is a 2012 Olympian, narrowly missed out on a bronze medal, right behind Yanni Marquez of Brazil. We're expecting a great ride from these two. They're definitely experienced equestrians.
Absolutely. Finishing fourth is one of the hardest places probably to finish in the Olympics, but it's definitely lit her fire to come back for Rio and improve on that. She's looking to hunt for a medal. So
Nathan is a WCAP member, the World Class Athlete Program in the U.S. Army. A lot of pentathletes are soldiers, excuse me.
Oh,
Margot has a refusal to the first fence, needs to move her horse forward a little bit.
There she goes, makes a little adjustment, tells the horse she means business. And now she's moving out, understanding that she's incurring probably some time penalties. Using the crop a little to make sure that her horse knows that she means business.
Really hauling around the course.
She is
Still
moving.
in control. Probably not happy with that first refusal. Now she's really got that momentum going. 2 rails there.
The 2 only counts as 1 knockdown. They did a great job. Nathan did a great job being prepared and ready to leave the starting box as soon as she got in there to try to make up some of those time penalties.
Now Nathan is on the paint here.
Taking a really short inside track there. Jumps fence 3 nicely.
We'll see they're showing off their equestrian prowess with the inside turns. Now this horse might be a little pokey, which means slow, but Nathan is getting him direct to the fences. It's really apparent that Nathan knows his stuff. Comes into fence 7. 1 more to go.
And
has a refusal. It looks like the horse doesn't want to go. Doesn't look like it's Nathan's fault.
No, you could tell he just bowed his neck out that way.
Yeah.
Didn't want to take a look at it. Nathan's got to use some leg. There he goes.
Known as drawing a horse that is being a jerk. But that's okay at the end of the day. They can.
Nathan was able to make some good corrections, and you could see the confidence in his riding by cutting out a lot of the real estate in between jumps. They're getting a good round of applause from the home crowd in Sarasota. Neither of them, I'm sure, thrilled with their rides as they both had a refusal. 27 obstacle penalties, only 3 time faults, so that shows you that they definitely made up a lot of time taking the quicker option in the course, as both of them had a refusal but really only ended up with 3 time faults. They're going to have to do a little bit more work in their combined to improve their position.
Nathan is an excellent shooter. Margot's an excellent runner, so we expect good things. Next on course, we have Laura Asadauskaitė and Justinas Kinderis of Lithuania, but looks like we might have to wait a few minutes for them to come into the warm-up ring. Justinas Kinderis was formerly the world #1 before this competition. Those rankings might have changed, but he's a Definitely a great athlete, great fencer, 2012 Olympian. He's also a lawyer back home in Lithuania. Laura Asadauskaitė is the 2012 gold medalist from the Olympic Games. Maybe looking for a repeat performance in Rio. Here in Sarasota, we've seen some performances from the local circus.
So we're having a little bit of a break here. You can see the nice crowd that's gathered for the third day in Sarasota, the mixed relay combined event. We're having a little bit of a break, so people are getting up to get some refreshments at one of the many food and drink stands out here at the beautiful polo grounds. There are a lot of activities for the spectators. You can make a t-shirt personalized to your own pentathlon experience. They have art for sale of original pentathlon art. You've got the military out here doing a little bit of recruiting, as well as a long line of people testing out the new laser pistols, which has absolutely transformed our sport. Seeing a lot of recruits coming in that have tried out the laser and are really enjoying it. So it's turned into being a great recruiting tool. I know personally my kids think it's something close to a video game and can't get enough of it. It's surprising actually how fast the kids pick it up and are pretty good shots.
On the screen, you'll see one of our sponsors, Visit Sarasota. Beautiful town here in Florida, horse country.
And again, we are so thankful for our sponsors for providing us with the live stream, and hope all of you who are watching online are happy with being able to see the riding and the combined event in its entirety.
Today in the combined, we'll have 4 by 800 meters again with shooting, but each participant only runs 2 legs of that. So they'll run up to the line, shoot, run 800 meters, shoot again, run 800 meters, and then hand off to their partner.
So today is really more of a sprint competition. You don't have to save anything for your next 2 laps. It's going to come down to who's the fastest out there. We're seeing a sign of Universal Sports, which is also broadcasting some of the highlights. Michelob Ultra.
We're actually up in the Michelob Ultra truck. Over here, it's a bar on wheels with a platform on top, so we can see the whole polo grounds.
It's a great position up here to watch. There we are. Hi, guys.
Definitely getting some sun up here.
Sunscreen's been in high demand.
Number 50. You can see the grandstand over there. Big crowd turnout today, which is always good to see. The University of Florida cheerleading squad did some performances cheering on the fencers in the ladder system. So the ladder system is a new system that's going into the fencing in pentathlon. Formerly, we just had the round robin in which 36 athletes would fence 35 bouts against all of their other competitors, when their percentage of victories would gain them points and put them in order of how well they did. Now with the ladder, you take that order, then the last person in the order fences the second to last person. There are some ladies in pink shirts down there dancing on the picnic table. So the last person fences the person in the second to last position and has to beat them to climb the rungs on the ladder and move up to the top. Theoretically, the person in last can score enough points to go in first, which would be the greatest performance ever, really, in pentathlon fencing. And if How's it going? We're here up in the Michelob Ultra Truck. My name's Harrison Green, and this is Monica Rowland, commentating for Modern Pentathlon in the World Cup Final. It's great to be here today.
Hope you guys are all having a good time, enjoying it. We thought we'd get ourselves on camera so you can put faces to the voices.
Most definitely. And Monica, you're a veteran pentathlete. When did you compete? Back
Veteran.
in the day. Oh, not
Veteran
that old.
is so lovely. Thank you, Harry. Yes. I retired in 2004, competed starting in 98. So I had a little bit of the old school pentathlon. I love the new format. I think I would have done much better at it. The combined would have been my thing. Everyone out there might remember me as probably the slowest runner who ever came to the sport of pentathlon.
Oh, man, so combining shooting would work well for you.
Absolutely. And Harry is one of our newer recruits.
Yeah,
training full-time up in Colorado Springs now.
Yeah, I love pentathlon. I graduated from the University of Vermont last May, moved right out to Colorado Springs, and jumped in the pool to swim as much as I possibly could with Gennadius Sokolovis, our high-performance director and coach, trying to get my swim time down, as I didn't do that in high school, and it's going really well. So having a lot of lessons, fencing lessons, about 6 per week with our fencing coaches Adam Matchik and Paul Henschel. Paul's from Tauberbischenheim in Germany, one of the clubs over there that had multiple world champions in the 80s and 90s.
So get used to Harry's face, because you'll be seeing it around.
That's the goal. That's the goal. We have nationals in a few weeks, so we're all training hard, training smart for that.
You haven't had a lot of time to train in the past few days, though, Harry.
No, the competition's definitely been busy. I did get to ride, which was great. I think I rode 4 horses in the jury ride. They were all really good. One didn't go around the course, so she was kind of an old gray mare that didn't make the roster for the ride. The other ones were excellent. One was a big old thoroughbred jumper who would jump 4.9 as long as you told him what to do, so that was good. His name was Remy. Also rode a horse named Roman. I haven't ridden in a while. I actually rode for a long time when I was younger, so getting back on and using those muscles that I know how to use was fine. But afterwards, my hip adductors definitely let me know I had been doing something I hadn't done for a while.
It's like riding a bike, except that your muscles, they know, they remember what to do, but you don't remember the pain and suffering after you've been off for a while.
Exactly.
How old were you when you started riding?
My mom actually got me into horseback riding. We run a summer camp, or actually 2 summer camps in New England, one in Maine and the other one in Massachusetts, Camp Neshoba and Camp Neshoba North. So I rode at summer camp for a long time, and I would ride during the year. I probably started formally riding at about 7 years old. I always had little ponies when I was younger, so
excellent. So
rode
that's
through high school.
That's your sport that you have in the bag.
Exactly. I don't train too much for riding because I've minimized the risk that it takes.
Here we have a shot. You can see people who are trying out the laser pistols, maybe while enjoying a popsicle. He's going to have to put that down if he wants a career in pentathlon, but there are a lot of people getting exposure to the sport. So many people have turned out today that have never heard of pentathlon or know the 5 events, so this has been an amazing opportunity for us in the United States to educate the people of Sarasota and Florida. We have people from Tampa who are here. We've had great press coverage, front page of all the papers, as well as television spots documenting the past 3 days. And
We've actually got a scissor lift over there too with the announcer that's up above the tent. It's good to see.
Looks like they're taking a little bit of a break over there, waving to the camera. The music is turning up, means the party must be getting started here.
This event is so much more than a pentathlon. We have food vendors, we have entertainment, we have the cheerleaders. It's turned into a spectacle, a horse show, a cross-country race, a shooting event, all combined. And seeing these all-around athletes is definitely exciting for the old fans, the new fans, all of you tuning into this live webcast. So we hope you will
Yeah,
stick with us. And
I heard yesterday
follow
there were
Pentathlon.
between 3,000 and 4,000 people out here, and that was a rough count, people coming and going throughout the day, but a great turnout for a first-time event in Sarasota.
And these polo grounds that are used to having a lot of people here are really an ideal venue to host this event. The footing for the horses is incredible on the polo fields. It's flat. It's just a great place to have a riding event.
Absolutely. And you're right, it's really so much more than that. But the organizers have thought of everything out here. You know, there's the flags look great, the grandstands. There's actually a cooling tent that has misting water and fans to cool the athletes, prevent a little dehydration. There's a stand where you can buy a neck wrap that's cool, which I'm surprised all of the athletes don't have. I think they were the vests were started in the military, and many of the professional football players wear them now to bring their core temperature down, hoping to increase their ability to sustain optimal performance. They've got a stand here. You can buy those. Looks like some amazing barbecue, some Mexican food, ice cream, gelato, popsicles, Italian ice. So really a top-notch event that's going on. We've got some riders in the warm-up arena now, so we know we're getting closer to starting the second round.
So if you'd like to put your commentary in, if you're watching the live webcast, you can tweet at us at US Pentathlon on Twitter.
And Harry, are you monitoring that tweet? Because I am not able to pull that right now.
I actually just have it on my phone here. So.
Excellent.
Pentathlon putting some effort into their media outreach. You can find us on Facebook at USA Pentathlon or online at usapentathlon.org for updates, bios, stories about the athletes, new series of videos. Pentathlon has a lot to offer, so we're going to bring that right to you.
And if you're an American and further intrigued, you can go to the UIPM website to get more information on all the international competitors that you're seeing this weekend. www.uipm.org. Yes? Com?
It's
might be giving you some wrong information.
It's
but
try
Google it.
Yeah.
UIPM. It'll take you right there.
You'll find it actually at pentathlon.org. So just super similar, but a little bit different.
I'm sorry. I am behind the times entirely. It is pentathlon.org. Thank you for the correction, Harry.
No worries. UIPM is the name of the International Federation in French, Union Internationale de Pentathlon Moderne.
Yes, that was my era, that it was UIPM.org. So I'm dating myself. They've done an amazing job really bringing the website up to speed to compete in the digital era that we all live in now. Live, almost streaming results, up-to-date information, press conferences, video. They've come a long way.
You can find live scores, you can find results, athlete bios, so that's your pentathlon hub internationally.
Here we're seeing the cheerleaders from Sarasota entertaining the crowd during the break. They've done an amazing job. We've also had some of the local circus troupe members out here. Ringling himself was from Sarasota, of circus fame and fortune, and has a long-standing tradition in Sarasota. Here we have a shot of the warm-up arena. The athletes taking their specific number of jumps.
They have three different jumps to choose from. Tereshuk goes over the vertical. A vertical is just a one-bar jump. The jump in the middle there with 2 bars is called an oxer, and the one on the right, that's an X, is called a crossrail.
Looks like that's maybe the warm-up jump, just getting to see how your horse is going to go. The coach is out there and will raise the jumps after they've taken a couple of warm-ups, pull them up a little higher, see how the horse responds.
And you have only 5 jumps to get to know your horse, so you want to use those jumps wisely. You can only jump them one way. The red flag is on your right. If you jump it the wrong way, you get penalized for that.
Definitely don't want to jump the wrong way in the warm-up. There are a couple of rules that every athlete understands implicitly, but for first-time viewers, it keeps control really of the warm-up arena, which can get pretty congested when you have multiple numbers of teams in there. This looks like a decent size for a warm-up arena. We've ridden in ones that are quite smaller and chaotic. If you've got 8 or 10 horses in there, you can imagine.
Definitely a great warm-up arena. You don't want to see any horse collisions. 2,000-pound animals coming together is quite an event. So everyone's doing a good job of avoiding that today.
Avoid that. And the cheerleading squad is finishing up. Oh, they're coming again. They're getting a great response from the crowd. Really, they've thought of everything.
It's really impressive how those guys can hold up the women above their head.
And balance on one foot up that high, looking like they're in good unison. They've had fun out here also. We spoke to a couple of them earlier, having their education in pentathlon and enjoying the events of riding and the combined event. So we're starting the second round here. Coming into the arena is the team from Lithuania, Laura Asadeiskaitė and Justinas Kinderis.
Laura, the gold medalist from the London Olympics, great combined athlete.
And ran her and shot her way from 14th in the women's final up into a medal.
Quite impressive. Couldn't quite catch Octavia Nowaka of Poland, but
an amazing effort.
There were no worries
as usual from Laura. The whistle blows, and she's on course.
Justinas Kinderis talking to his coach a little bit.
Looking for a little more momentum there in between 1 and 2.
This is Bentley. He's a warm blood, big old horse.
Taking her time.
Definitely takes up Laura's leg. Has 1 rail on the CWD jump. Uses her space to get to the next fence, which is going to cost her time penalties, but you do what you can. Has another rail. 5 strides to fence 5. Comes around to fence 7. Has to look to get to fence 8. It's going to get a diagonal approach, but slices it and finishes her course, comes across the finish line, and sends Justinas Kinderis on his way.
Excellent correction from the Olympic champion.
1 rail for Justinas. Now, Roman is definitely a powerful horse. You got to point him at the jumps and make sure he knows what he's doing.
Takes a rail there at jump number 3, so he has 2 knockdowns.
Now, in those seconds before the jump, you either want to let the horse go, letting it move forward to the jump, move it forward with your leg, or woe it back with your hand to find that good takeoff distance. 3 rails for Justinas, and finishes the course.
Finishes,
you won't have any time penalties.
Big round of applause. Probably not the perfect ride they were looking for, as every one of those rails is going to cost them 7 seconds. This team obviously can make it up, but they're going to have a challenge ahead of them. They had 35 obstacle penalties and 3 seconds over in time. So I think Justinas on course managed to make up some of the time that Laura had taken.
So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. 3 seconds for them, but that could be the difference between 1st and 4th.
And coming up next is our Ukrainian team, Victoria Tereshchuk and Pavlo Timoshenko. It's going to be tough to chase them down.
Absolutely. Victoria is a 2:01 800-meter runner from the Ukraine who took up pentathlon. She is looking for a good ride today after her mildly disappointing elimination from the women's competition. She's good defense 1.
Definitely a seasoned pentathlete and has been performing at a really high level for so many years now. It's truly unbelievable to see what her body can do for this many years in a row.
Looks like
I'm going to call her the Bionic Woman.
good match between horse and rider this time for Victoria Tereshchuk. Born in 1986, perhaps. I might be making that up. Looks defense 7.
And
keeps
excellent.
the rail up on fence 8, which she's definitely going to be happy with. Pavlo Timoshenko is an experienced rider, so we'll see how he does.
Horse jumps a little big right there, but nice and clean.
Czar is Alex Guzman's horse. He's a young horse. Alex plays polo cross, which is lacrosse on horseback. Not with Czar. Czar is looking to be a jumper.
And has done a pretty good job.
Great distance, defense 5 for Timoshenko. Going to go outside those flowers. Czar is shaking his head. He's a good horse, direct. And keeps that rail up. It's a little bit, but they're definitely going to be happy with that ride, those Ukrainians. They are a threat to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. They've got to be happy with that. I think they're thinking they might be in the hunt for the medals now after 2 great rides. They're doing a little cheer, a little celebration there for a clean ride. Both of them, no time penalties.
High fives all around.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always nice to walk out of the arena after you're completing a clean ride.
They can definitely
let
out their breath after that.
Exactly. In the team event, you are really working together, and you feel your partner's success and also failures. I think that all the athletes are enjoying competing in this mixed relay, and hopefully the Olympic Committee has taken note that it's a great spectator event as well, and will add it to their Olympic agenda as one of the only events other than equestrian where women and men would compete together.
It's definitely great to see that combination of genders work so well with a sport that combines 5 very different disciplines.
In the arena, we have the Korean team, Sujin Yang. 2 clean jumps so far.
The Koreans had a little bit of trouble with the ride in the individual events, so we're going to see if they can pull this off today.
They're looking to maintain their lead that they have on Ukraine. Before their ride, they had about 20-second lead.
Great
so depending on
for Sujin.
She's looking really smooth, great control, keeping up with the horse.
And up and over fence 8 is definitely going to be happy. We'll see how her male counterpart can do.
Monte Carlo, the horse on course.
Good momentum so far after accelerating to that first fence. Long spot there, he makes it over. He's going to take that inside turn to avoid the time penalties. Good approach. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the takeoff. Great jump. These distances from these Koreans are looking great today.
Looking great. Looks like the horse
took a rail there from that inside turn.
And
knocks the next one, but he's all set.
Great rides from the Korean. Maintaining their lead over the Ukrainians if they don't have any time penalties. 1 rail, which is 7 points again.
So we have 3 teams remaining. Next is China, followed by Russia, and Belarus, who is in first place.
And yes, the Koreans maintain their standings ahead of the Ukrainians, but they will definitely feel the hunt and the pressure behind them. And also looking probably to run some people down in front of them. We have our Chinese team entering the arena.
The Chinese have really improved their riding over the past few years.
They've spent a great amount of resources building their program and improving it. They have some great horses and coaches over there, and it's really shown in their riding. Sun Jin Yang on course, looking very comfortable.
Kwan's going to look left to this jump. Let's see if she can get the approach. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long spot, but she makes it.
Spot. Good bending lines.
Definitely a great rhythm here. I think Richard Lamb has designed the course so that if you have a good rhythm and you're not too forward, you'll get to the jumps the way you need to.
A lot of left-hand turns on this course.
Enters the start line, crosses the finish line, sending her countryman forward. And this is really one of those times where if you point the horse at the jump and let it go, it'll do what it needs to do. It's going to have to make that horse look, coming off a short approach, but good distance. 4 strides to jump 5. Knocks a little bit, stays up.
Staying focused, riding to the jumps.
And that's going to look like a clean ride for the Chinese
clean
team.
round. Holding their position in 1 minute, 27 seconds, and they are holding their position in third. Top 2 teams to come. Russia up next, followed by Belarus. They had 1 knockdown, pardon me, the Koreans, 1 knockdown. There's something going on in the warm-up arena. We hear a lot of yelling in Russian.
Could be just talking in Russian.
Maybe.
Yeah. Loud communication. Up next we have the Russian team.
I think they are finishing up their warm-ups here, readjusting the spurs, doing some final corrections for what's needed for the horse that they have, and they're heading towards the arena.
Alexander Lesin and Ekaterina Kuraskina making up this powerhouse from Russia. Great place to train also. I spent about 5 weeks outside of Moscow at their training center. Got to know some of them quite well. And it's always interesting to see how other teams train, what they do differently. One of the things I remember was their long-standing tradition of sauna. We had lots of card games and domino games while alternating between ice-cold bath and the hot sauna to get our muscles recovering.
Sounds great. And did you have an ice bath, or did you just go sit in the snow out there in Russia?
Luckily, we were there in the spring, which was still quite cold, but no snow on the ground that year.
That's good.
Here they are entering the arena. Hopefully their coach is happier with them, but we'll see what happens with their ride. Here's Wile E. Coyote again.
Alexander Lesin's horse's name is Maria.
And there's the whistle. She is free to start.
Katerina needs to ride her horse forward a little bit, get some momentum to go.
Looks like the Russians are wearing some sort of supportive garment around their midsection.
Yeah, could be something to help them sit up. I don't think it's a protection vest. Could be some sort of riding cummerbund.
A reminder, or maybe it's providing some kind of support for their lower backs. We'll have to look into that. And she is around 5. Clean.
Great so far for Katerina.
Carrying good speed and momentum.
And clears fence 8. Here goes Lesson. The men's champion from yesterday. Looked incredible in the run.
Had such an easy time. Has such an amazing stride and gait. Didn't look like he was laboring too hard to maintain his big advantage going into the combined event. I think he had a 25-second head start and was never challenged.
Lesson is a total pro. He's going to try and look to fence 4. Short into that, but he makes it over.
Nice and clean. And the Russians right now are definitely thinking of speed. They don't want to incur any time penalties today. Of course, a knockdown is a little bit worse.
So 7 seconds, nothing those two can't make up.
Absolutely.
They should be reasonably happy with that ride.
Russian coaches are coming out of the arena. They look not too disappointed. Just kind of shrugging their shoulders. I think that's a sign of approval from them. So up next, our leaders so far, the Belarusian team.
Tatiana Yelizarova and the fireman, Stanislav Zhurlu from Belarus.
And the Russians and the Belarusians are only separated by 2 seconds going into this. So the Russians end with 7 points of penalties for the one knockdown. Right now that gives the Belarusians 9 points, a 9-second lead.
That is if they go clear.
Let's see if they can maintain it or if they are going to give the Russians an opportunity to move into first before the combined event.
These are our leaders. Tatiana Yelizarova will be first at the arena. First on court.
And Tatiana takes off.
Tatiana's on Quincy.
Looking good, focused.
Also ridden by Margot Isaacson.
Margot had one refusal there going into 1, but Tatiana looks to have made that correction. And
she moved Quincy forward. Slices fence 4. Quincy looks like he isn't the most attentive to a rider's leg, but a strong rider can get over that. Move him around where he needs to go. So he's quick into that fence.
And
like
there it is.
A refusal. So she's going to go back around and try and clear the fence. See, what I talk about with the whole leg thing is from fence 7 to 8, that outside leg, that leg that's on the outside of the turn needs to really support the horse around the turn so he knows that to his left is the next fence.
That horse definitely taking the opportunity to look around, look for any opportunity to maybe run out in front of the jump. So she otherwise did a great job keeping Quincy on track. But the Russians, I think, have just taken over the lead there. It was 10-point penalty for a refusal, and then we had 1 knockdown. So 17 seconds there that they've given up to the Russians.
Looks like a lot of people are making that mistake from 7 to 8. So
trying to rush through it a little bit.
So that concludes your riding event. Belarus finishing up with a satisfying but not perfect ride. Russia hanging on, China doing well, Korea doing great, and today it looks like no one has been eliminated from the ride, so everyone is still in contention.
Absolutely. Athletes are going to get changed, put their legs up, maybe get a little massage, and prepare for the final event of the day.
We should have a heated combined event, a horse race between all of these great pentathlon nations.
And looks like the Belarusians have dropped down to 4th. Again, today's live stream brought to you by Semcor and Ringling College of Art and Design, doing a phenomenal job to bring this to everybody watching worldwide.
At 4 o'clock, warm-up starts. Immediately following that, the race starts, and we'll have our mixed relay World Cup final champion.
Got great music playing here today. Pumping up the crowd, getting ready for this combined event. Hopefully the athletes have gotten a little tension release. They can no longer hear their heart beating in their head from the hecticness of the ride, that volatility, that uncertainty. Looks like the officials are going to take some parts of the fence down for the course, because the running course does go through the riding arena.
And you know, these new laser targets are actually pretty sensitive to heat and sun. They can't be placed in direct light of the sun. So we may have a little bit of a break between the riding and combined event to make sure that the sun is far enough down to operate absolutely
and when
perfectly the laser targets.
When you're in this combined event and your body is so far from homeostasis, from feeling normal, if you will, your sight, your front sight and your pistol just shakes back and forth. It's almost blurry. It's kind of a haze that goes through your eyes. So shooting becomes much more of a challenge than if it were in an air-conditioned practice center. So they're not just shooting at a target in a shooting range. They're underneath the heat of the sun. There are a lot of other factors. Their hearts are going to be racing. Their thoughts are not going to be clear, but each shot has to be its own individual shot.
Mm-hmm. The use of the lasers has absolutely transformed the sport. When I was competing, not quite 22 calibers, but we had the pellets, and you could not compete in an outdoor environment like this because of the wind blowing your pellet off. Even a hair would be the difference between a 10 and a 9 or a 10 and an 8. So the laser pistols have definitely improved the sport in that way, providing us with a lot more options and where we can hold events and greater spectator opportunities. People can come out and camp out for a good half of the day, get 3 different sporting events in.
It's definitely a great event to watch. And the laser, it lets athletes and pentathlon travel to countries like Taiwan and England that don't permit shorter pistols in their countries. So it's actually not classified as a firearm, which is super fortunate for pentathlon.
Absolutely. And if any of you are in Europe or somewhere where you might not have such great weather, think about coming to Sarasota next year for a World Cup and working on your tan out here. Enjoy the warm weather. Should be another great competition next year.
Sarasota also has beautiful beaches. People can go, read, relax, play volleyball, frisbee on the Gulf of Mexico.
We are going to take a short break, I think 45 minutes. We hope you guys all tune back in for the combined event. We are going to be off for about 45 minutes. Please stick around, get yourself a beverage, and come on back and join us for the exciting conclusion of the World Cup final in Florida.
we hope to see you again. Again, don't hesitate to tweet at us at US Pentathlon. Hello and welcome. Or not.
Hi, and welcome back to the conclusion of the World Cup final here in Florida.
We're in Sarasota here. We have the final of the men's and women's mixed relay at the World Cup final of modern pentathlon. My name is Harrison Green and this is Monica Rowland. We're here commentating for the UIPM live webcast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Ringling College of Art and Design and Semcor.
We have kicked off the women's competition here. Tight race.
We've got Ekaterina Kurashkina in lane 1 finishing 5 and she's off. Ukraine starts down there in the 3rd position, 4th position. We've got China and Korea at the line. China is off.
China is in the hunt. Ekaterina Kurashkina, they had a 2-second differential to start, followed by Korea. 13 seconds, Belarus 17 seconds behind.
Mark Easington starts. Runs up to the line. Shooting is a challenge for her, so we're going to see if that will be the make or break of this event. This is going to be a close one here today. It's 4 by 800 meters. The man has 2, the woman has 2. The women go first, so it's a mile run with shooting preceding each 800 meters.
And there we have a shot of Russia and China. Kan Shen is making up some time, it looks like, on Ekaterina Kurashkina.
Katerina's got a little bit of a lead, followed closely.
She was a little bit later out of the shooting range. Here goes Margot. She's off and in the hunt, getting a large round of applause from the crowd here, trying to make up some time. The American started in 9th, not an ideal position, and hoping to hunt down some of those girls in front of her.
And it looks like just behind Quan Chen and Ekaterina Kurashkina, so who have a battle up there for 2nd and 3rd. They're followed by Korea, and Victoria Tereshchuk of the Ukraine is making some ground up. She is a 2:01 800-meter runner, so she has some speed in her legs, and she'll be looking to gun down these other women.
And right now out on course, Laura Asaiviskaite and Margot Isaacson are just powering together. Laura has taken over Margot and is running so fast.
Laura has a very impressive track and field background. She is Lithuania's 3K champion, and she is going to hammer this first 800. We'll see if she can make it into a podium finish like she did in the women's individual event.
And we see Russia coming in, now again first into the shooting range. Here's Margot on course.
Powering after Laura. She's going to try and latch onto Laura's heels and stay there. Let Laura do the work. She's going to try and catch back up and draft off of her. Ekaterina runs in for her 2nd shoot of the day. If she can hit 5 and go off, she can just hammer this 2nd 800. Stay relaxed, stay focused, quicken her turnover, and hand off to her countryman, Alexander Lesson.
You see her shaking out her arms a little bit as she was heading into the course. Here they are. Ekaterina and Kan Shen from China going head-to-head. They are 1-1 each, and they both missed their 2nd shot. Ekaterina, both have 2. And Ekaterina is ahead, tied up again at
4 and 3.
4, and this is close.
And Katerina's off.
She's off, and so is Kan Shen.
Both these women are going to leave nothing in the tank. They're going to leave it all on the course. Finish this last 800 meters as fast as they possibly can. And 800 is an incredible mix between a sprint and a distance run. So the lactate is going to be pumping through their veins, and they are going to feel this one tomorrow. But that's exactly what they want to do.
And the rest of the athletes are back in, taking their 5 shots. Margot just arrived. And here's the race for first out in the field.
Tereshchuk shooting there.
Katerina is still holding on to first. Kan Shen is making up a little bit of ground.
These ladies working together. They're going to power through this 800 and then hand off to their countrymen. We've got Zhang Guo of China for the men, and then Alexander Lesson.
And they're working together, both looking strong, both both running pretty fast. Entering into the riding arena, hearing the cheers from the crowd.
Asauda is back in 7th, but she is looking to pass those 2 women in front of her. She's going to dig deep and throw this down. We have Korea in 3rd, Sujin Yang finishing this up. Looks like Tatiana Yelizarova of Belarus in 4th.
And Qian Shang is hanging with Ekaterina Kuroskova. A little bit behind, but otherwise first stride. We'll see what she can do at the end.
Laura Sadaskaite moves into 5th. Victoria Tereshuk, the 2 track and field women are going to work together. We've got Korea, we've got China and Russia.
Looks like she's trying to make a move, but Russia will not be overtaken. She looks like she is.
Aijelen Zapata finishing her shoot from Argentina. We've got the Russian coach yelling for her to dig deep and go. These 2 women are powering through the woods on the backstretch. Aijelen still finishing her last shoot, and she's off. We're going to see the finish. It looks like Ekaterina powers through, tags lesson. Jianli Guo of China is off.
They are heading into their first round of 5 shots.
Jianli sprints up to the shooting range. We'll see if that's a good idea or not, see how his shooting goes. Lesson is a very steady combined athlete. This is a battle for first. Jianli uncovers his gun so the sun doesn't mess with it. Lesson pulls up, gets his first shot.
And China has 1, 2. Lesson hits 1.
China's off.
China's off.
Lesson
China's
has
away.
2.
Great, terrific shoot right there from Jianli Guo.
This is where focus matters, and Lesson is off. He's going to try and latch onto China's heels and run him down. Looks like Laura has tagged Justinas Kinderis in, along with Victoria Tereshuk to Pavlo Timochenko of the Ukraine. Ismail Hernandez is close behind them.
And Nathan Scrimshire is off, heading down towards the shooting range.
Take a look at Nathan's shooting. It is very impressive. He often shoots 7 seconds in practice. We'll see how he can do with this sun today.
A look here at the leaders. China keeping hold of their lead in hot pursuit by Alexander Leshin.
And this might come down to a foot speed race on that last 100 for the tall, lanky Russian. But he's a compact, powerful pentathlete that looks like he will have some speed in his legs to go and catch the Chinese athlete.
Making the U-turn here in through the riding arena. Leshin is closing the gap.
Korea still in 3rd, followed closely by Timochenko and Kinderis of Lithuania. Ismail Hernandez is powering down that backstretch, looking to pass the Eastern Europeans. The Mexicans have a fantastic combined event, and Hernandez has incredible foot speed coming from soccer.
And here comes Leshin making his move, coming up hot on the heels.
Lesson is going to be steady, and he looks a lot better than Jianli Guo right now. He's slowly catching up to him, powering down, entering this little woods loop, and he is going to overtake.
Looks like he is going to overtake him here on the turn.
Passes him like he's standing still. Korea's pretty far back. Ismail Hernandez closing the gap, as well as Timochenko and Kinderis. The Mexicans have an extremely good combined event, and we're going to see if they can throw down today.
And here they come into the shooting range. Alexander has taken back the lead, followed closely by Qian Chen of China. We're going to see how they can manage their nerves and how fast they can get these 5 shots off for the sprint to the finish.
Leandro Silva takes off for his 2nd.
And here they are both at the shooting range.
This is going to come down to their shooting.
Shot for shot, they both missed the first.
They each have 2. China has 4. Lesson has 4.
And China hits it. He's
China's off
again.
Lesson misses 1.
Chinese
Lesson's off.
Shooting
Can he gun him down? Let's see this. This is going to be an all-out sprint for first, and
Maybe had a 4-second lead there.
Lesson has 20 meters on him, and he is going to throw this down. We've got two men burning all 8 cylinders coming down that back stretch.
They're leaving nothing in the tank. They know that there is no need to pace themselves. This is an all-out sprint here.
They're going to lean forward, taking long, powerful strides with a quick turnover. Korea
and
shooting.
being taken over.
Kinderis is
Alexander
off.
has now taken the lead,
Ismael Hernandez is in the race for 5th.
easily passing Qian Chen again. Qian Chen struggling a little, looking labored, just trying to hang with him
Timochenko is off.
to make it a race for the final 100 meters.
In the race
Alexander
for
extending
third.
his lead.
We have Kinderis powering down the backstretch, followed closely by Ismael Hernandez, but I don't know if there's enough ground for the Mexican to overtake the Lithuanian. He's followed closely by Timochenko of the Ukraine.
And the Russian now, you can see him really picking up speed. Heard a little bit of coaching going on around the corner. Some inspiring words, I'm sure, and he has decided to really kick it into high gear.
There really is beauty in the sport of pentathlon sometimes, and today it manifests itself in the form of Alexander Lesson. He takes home the men's gold, and it looks like he is going to take home the gold in the mixed relay along with his countrywoman Ekaterina Kuraskina.
Amazing performance from the Russian. Definitely looking forwards to World Championships.
In third place right now, we have Kinderis with about 300 to go, followed closely by Ismael Hernandez and Hansa Kuf of the Czech Republic. And it looks like Kuf is overtaking Ismael Hernandez.
World Cup champion, Lesson, celebrating through the tape. Excellent job. Gets a big hug from his partner. High fives. They are thrilled with their performance today. Second place, silver medalist, Chinese. Excellent performance from them.
Kuf has overtaken Ismael Hernandez on the back stretch for 4th, and it looks like Kinderis is going to be square away with 3rd. In 6th, we have Pablo Timochenko of the Ukraine, followed closely by Korea. Followed closely by Pavel Ilyashenko of Kazakhstan. Close afterwards is Stanislav Zhurlu of Belarus, followed by Nathan Scrimshire, who is now being passed by Riccardo De Luca of Italy. They're going to run home together. Nathan has got to stay on his heels. Come on, Nathan, go get him! Excuse me, I had to cheer for Nathan. They're followed closely by Korea. This has been a heated competition here in 80-plus degrees Sarasota, Florida. In the last home final sprint, De Luca looks over his shoulder and crosses the line right before Nathan. A great job by both of them.
Strong performance. You can see here how everyone is exhausted. Some of the guys laying down, getting some water poured on them.
Korea crosses the line, and last but not least, coming through, we'll have Leandro Silva de Argentina.
It's tough to be out there all by yourself, and I'm sure when he's coming around to the finish, the crowd is going to give him a big round of applause for excellent effort and performance today. The amount of strength and endurance to come up here and perform the last day after a tough men's competition. There's not a lot left in the tank, but each and every athlete finds a way to summon their strength.
And he is not jogging through the finish line. He is going to power through these last 200 meters and really show how proud he is of his home country. They've come a long way from South America, maybe the only country here from the Southern Hemisphere. His coach cheering him on. This is what you've trained for, he's saying. He's going to cross the line, and he is going to be super proud of what he's accomplished today.
Absolutely. Coming around the final bend into the home stretch, in front of the crowd, getting a great round of applause. Leandro's
definitely come a long way. His riding has definitely improved. He's a just under 2 minutes in this past competition in the 200 freestyle. And he's going to be very happy with his competition today, as will Margot Isaksen and Nathan Scrimshire of the United States. We're very happy to have them here competing and doing so well. Again, we'd like to congratulate the Russians, Ekaterina Kurashkina and Alexander Lesin, for taking home the gold. China did a great job for second. And Lithuania, coming all the way up from 10th place, a minute behind the leaders, grabbed the bronze.
We hope you guys at home have enjoyed the performance these past 3 days. And we thank you for viewing and putting up with us and our commentary.
Absolutely.
Please stay tuned. I think the medal ceremony will be following shortly.
And make sure you check us out online, our Facebook page, USA Pentathlon, and at US Pentathlon on Twitter. You can also find the UIPM website at pentathlon.org. This has been Harrison Green and Monica Rowland commentating.
Ekaterina, Alexander, you had a wonderful weekend. So tell me, what was the most fun about today?
Really, the most great today was our fencing. Fencing it's not our favorite event, and today we had so good team spirit and a lot of emotions, so drive, and it was so amazing. Fencing, first place in fencing, and we finished first.
Alex?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Team spirit.
So this is the last day of the 3-day competition. Tell us, what do you like about Sarasota? Do you like coming to Sarasota, Florida?
Yes, we like Florida. We want going to Disney World.
Where are you going to go, Alex?
Disney World, yeah, in Florida, yeah.
Okay, that's all we can say. Listen, we wish you the best of luck in the World Championships in September. Tell me, what are your hopes and expectations for World Championships this year?
We hope compete together again. It's all because we don't know how it will be, because in Russia a lot of athletes, so we just hope again be first, again be compete together.
I want just hope, okay?
Just so. Well, we think you're a great team and we wish you all the luck. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here in Florida. We welcome you anytime. Thank you.